Okay, so I'm hoping you guys are able to see my screen and you also you're also able to hear me, right? So
Yes.
let me yeah. So let me start with the session. Okay, and I hope everyone are doing good, right? So in this session, we would be looking at or we'll be learning about business analysis and right other things about business analyst profile. Okay. So this session would be going around 1.5 hours based on our discussion. Right, once I'm done with my presentation, if we have any questions about business analyst profile, and then if you have, if you want to know anything about BA profile, you can ask. I will be happy to answer your questions. Right. So let me start the session. So before I get into topics or before we get into the demo, right? So let me introduce myself, right? So I am Srikant. So I have experience in IT industry about 14 years, close to 14 years. I've been working as business analyst, scrum master, and a product owner. So I have a diversity of experience in IT industry managing important roles like BA, Scrum Master, and product. Right. So currently, I'm working as a manager at a the business analyst manager level. So I have a couple of team members as a BA in my team. Right. So I'm a certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance, and I'm also a product manager, product owner from Scaled Agile. Right. So this is a SAFe certification. Okay. SAFe is different from Scrum, right? But the base, the foundation of Safe and Scrum both are same, but Safe is something different from Scrum, right? Just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay. 1 minute. Let me close my WhatsApp in the browser. Okay. Thanks for that. So yeah. So this is about me, right? And I'm from a coming to my educational background. So I'm from a commerce background. I'm a BCom student. I'm not from engineering background or a technical background, purely from a commerce background. Okay. So yeah, let me get into the topics, right? Next, we'll see about myths of a business analyst. Right? So generally, we hear a few of the myths or gossips around the business analyst profile, right? So whenever you wanted to get into BA, I guess and I'm sure that you must have searched in Google, right? BA should be can a non-technical person become a BA, right? So this is the first question or first things which strikes any person's mind, whoever wants to transform into BA, right? So, if you say there are technical skills required and you say, no technical skills are required, right? So I'll explain you both why they are required and why they are not required, right? So, basically let's understand what is a, let me open the notepad, right? So let's first decode the business analyst, right? So what is business analyst, right? What is a business analysis, right? So the nature by nature of the word, it is self-explanatory, right? So we have to do analysis of a business, right? So we have to do the business analysis, right? Can everyone go on mute? I'm getting some echo, right? You can unmute if you have any questions, but for now, everyone please go on mute, right? So we have to do the business analysis in order, right? In order to gather the proper business requirements, right? So in the process of business analysis or in the process of gathering requirements, we do not encounter any kind of technical details or we do not encounter any kind of technical aspects, right? So business requirements are purely on the business perspective. Okay, this is one thing. This says, business analyst need not be from a technical background, right? Why people say, you know, business business analyst should be a tech background. Give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, I'm sorry for that, right? I had to mute forcefully, right? So I was saying, right? So why people say business analyst from a technical background, right? So it is good, right? It is always good to have some basic technical knowledge. Okay. When I say basic, it is very basic, like, you know, select query, right? Or, basically, very basic in the sense we should be able to extract the data from database. That is enough, right? So we need not to identify where is the issue. We need not to identify where the issue exists in the code, or we need not to code the application. Okay, we have developers and testing team for that, right? So our business is only, or our responsibility is only to talk to the client in the business perspective, not on the technical basics. But why a business analyst should be aware of some basic technical information is like writing a select query or extracting the information from databases. See, whenever what happens in real-time job scenario, whenever client asks you to give you some information, you know, regarding to any of the requirements or regarding to any of the data related things, right? So you can extract that information from the front end using the application, but that would be a time taking activity. Okay. So you need to write some select query, right? In order to see the particular data and give it to client, right? So each and every time, whenever client asks you, to give you certain data, we need not to depend upon the developers. Okay. So sometimes we might need to work till midnight, right? So whenever there is a production release, okay, whenever there is a UAT sign off, right, we needed to stretch some more time, right, to to support the client and to support the business, right? So at that point of time, we should not be able to we should not dependent on the we should not be dependent on the technical team or the developers to get you that data, right? So we have to be independent of ourselves, right? So that is the reason very basic technical background, very basic technical knowledge is enough for a business analyst. Okay. So I hope this answers many of your question, right? A BA should be a yes, I would be sharing the recording as well. Okay. Right. So, I hope this answers many of viewers' question, right? A PA from a right background or technical background required or not required, right? So, business analyst from a technical background is also okay. From without technical background is okay. We should be able to communicate to the client, you know, decently. That should be enough. Okay. Then, see what is that we keep hearing most of the times, right? It is very difficult to start a career as a BA without technical background, right? You can start. The example myself, right? So I mentioned I am a commerce background student, right? I do not know anything about SQL or anything about select query or anything about Oracle, Java, .NET. I don't know anything when I started my career, right? It is okay. You can learn when you start working on a real-time BA, you can learn, right? So learning is something which is a repetitive action, right? It is not like everything will happen overnight. Okay. First, we should be able to learn the business analyst concept, right? Then when you start working on the real-time project, you will automatically learn the things. Okay. So it is not necessary that, you should be a technical background before you start the BA job. Okay. A fresher cannot become a BA. No, a fresher can also become a business analyst, but, the presentation of a resume will differ for a fresher, right? We cannot say that I am a BA or I have some domain knowledge and everything, right? So the resume perception should be different for a BA, but a fresher can also become a business analyst, right? So these are some myths which we listen commonly or we hear commonly whenever we wanted to transform our role into BA, right? So next, we'll see something about a business analyst, right? So basically, who is a business analyst, right? I hope, or every one of you have done some homework, right, before you join this demo, right? So, who is a business analyst, right? What is the definition? What is the definition of a business analyst? Right? A simple generic definition, right? Business analyst is the bridge between the technical team and a client. Okay, that's all we. That is all a Google also gives us, right? That is all in any book you see. This would be the basic definition of a BA, but it is not only the one, right? It is a just a small activity, one of the activities what a BA does. Okay, so there are number of activities what a BA does in real-time project, right? Requirements gathering, requirements documenting, right? Discussing with developers, grooming the requirements, right? Tracking the requirements, okay? Discussing, stakeholder management, client management. So there are a lot of things what a BA does in a real-time project, okay? Business analyst is basically the face of the project, right? Business analyst is treated as a face of the project because you are the one who will be interacting directly with the client on the requirements perspective or on the project perspective, right? So even project manager will also be behind you, right? If if client has an issue with the project, or if client has an issue with that particular feature, client would talk to you first, then rest of the team will come into picture, right? So that is the reason business analyst is treated as a face of the project. Okay, now, so what are the skill set is required for a BA? Okay, communication skill, problem solving skills, right? Knowledge of business analysis technique. Okay, so how a business analysis is done, right? These technique we should be having some knowledge, right? Which would you gain through this training program? Okay, and we should also have some skill set around these tools like Jira, MS Visio, or wireframes, right? So this is the basic skill set what a business analyst require to acquire a BA job. Okay, then what are the roles and responsibilities of a BA, right? As I was talking, right? So these are the not in detail, but at a high level, roles and responsibilities of a BA. Assessment, right? Assessment is nothing but doing business analysis, right? Stakeholder management, requirements gathering, requirement analysis, documenting the requirements, right? Requirements prioritization, which is very much important for a BA, right? Change impact analysis, right? All these are the responsibilities of a business analyst in a real-time program or in a real-time project. Okay, then right, then next we'll see what is the course content of this training program, right? What all you'll get during this training program, what all the things you'll get to learn during this training program, right? So this training program is divided into two parts, right? One is waterfall methodology and one is scrum method, agile methodology, right? So in waterfall methodology, I would be teaching you how to do business analysis and what are the techniques we use for the business analysis, right? We'll also see who is a business analyst in depth, right? In detail of business analyst profile, right? And we'll also see some basics of IT industry, right? See, all the people who wanted to transform their career into BA, it is not necessary that everyone is coming from a corporate background, right? There are few people who are coming from core banking, right? So they have good communication skill, they have good banking, banking knowledge. They wanted to transform into IT industries, right? So they have some little knowledge of IT industry when compared to the corporate sector employees, right? So to cover up that gap, what I do, initially first 3 or 4 sessions I would teach how we how many types of industries, IT software industries we have, right? What are the types of company, what is the IT hierarchy, right? What type of company does what activities, right? Some basics of IT industry, then slowly we'll get into the business analyst topics. Okay, so this is what we learn into the introductory sessions of initial 3 to 4 days, right? Slowly then we'll get into roles and responsibilities of a BA, do's and don'ts of a BA, right? So this is what we'll be covering in the introduction part, right? Then next we'll come into waterfall methodology. Okay, so in waterfall methodology we learn all these things like stakeholder management, how to identify the right stakeholder, right? It is not like you have the list of stakeholders and you go and talk to the stakeholder, right? It is not like that. We have to identify the right stakeholder, right? We have to identify the appropriate stakeholder according to your module, what you're working on, right? We have to do the stakeholder management using RACI matrix, right? We'll see all those things while we learn the waterfall methodology, right? We'll see what are the types of requirements, what kind of documentation a BA has to do in the project, right? Like business requirement document or functional requirement document, requirements traceability matrix, right? So we'll see how in detailed explanation of each of these topics, right? So when I say in-depth analysis, we'll be working on some case studies, okay? We'll be working on some projects around these topics, right? In the requirements traceability matrix, I'll teach you how to manage the requirements and why requirements traceability matrix is important, right? Everything we are going to learn in waterfall methodology. Okay. Next, in Scrum, in Agile, we are going to learn Scrum methodology, right? Agile is a framework or Agile is a methodology. Under Agile, we have a lot of frameworks. Okay. Under Agile, right? Under Agile, we have Scrum, we have Kanban, right? We have XP, which is called Extreme Programming, right? Then we have TDD, Test Driven Development. Then we have FDD, Feature Driven Development. Right? So we have we have many methodologies under Agile, but Scrum is the one which is used worldwide, right? Worldwide used, right? Which Scrum is used worldwide because it is very easy to understand and it is also very easy to implement in the project. Okay, so we are also going to learn about Scrum in this training program. Okay, so we are going to see in-depth details of Scrum, right? So we'll see what are the Scrum events. We'll see what is an epic. We'll learn what is how to write the user stories, how to calculate the team's velocity, how to calculate the team's capacity, right? So all these things are required, even though business analyst does not do the team's capacity or team's velocity calculation, right? So basically that part is taken care by Scrum Master, okay? But as a business analyst, we should also aware of how the stories are estimated, right? How the capacity is calculated, because while doing this sprint planning or sprint backlog grooming refinement, we should be aware of how much capacity does the team have that for that particular sprint, right? So we'll learn how to do each and every activity as a business analyst, as a Scrum business analyst, okay, or an Agile business analyst, right? So this is the course content what I'm going to cover, right, in this total training program. Okay. The next, what are the tools we are going to learn, right? So tools we are going to learn Jira, which is used to maintain the user stories, okay, and bugs as well, but mainly we use Jira for maintaining the product backlog and user stories. Okay, so we'll see how to use Jira, and we'll see how to create user stories in Jira. What are the different activities we do in Jira? Okay, then we'll also learn about MS Visio. MS Visio is basically used for requirements modeling. Okay, so when I say requirements modeling, it is like activity diagrams, okay, use case diagrams, right, and wireframes, right? All this comes under requirements modeling. Okay, so Balsamiq is the tool which we use for wireframes, but there are many tools in the market which are used for requirements modeling, or for requirements wireframe, right? It is based on the company or it is based on the organization which tool is used, right? But I will teach you Balsamiq on how to do the wireframes. Okay, then we have SQL. So we have a 2 hours of SQL session in which we give you a knowledge of SQL on how much a business analyst is required. Okay, it is not like we give you the entire SQL knowledge or entire development of knowledge, right? It is a very basic knowledge what a business analyst should possess. We are going to teach you that kind of knowledge in the SQL session. Okay, this would be of 2 hour session. Mostly we'll have SQL sessions only on weekends. Okay, only SQL session, right? So this is about the course content and the tools what we are going to, what I'm going to teach you in during this training program. Now let us see the course roadmap. Okay, so this course or this training program would be of, approximately 4 weeks, right? So in week 1, we are going to learn about overview of a business analyst profile and key knowledge areas like introductory week, which I categorize as, right? So as I mentioned, we are going to learn, basics of IT industry and basics of a BA profile in week 1. Okay. In week 2, we'll start learning about stakeholder analysis, requirement analysis, and requirements modeling. Okay. So we'll also do some case studies around these topics. Okay. So case studies are like mini projects, right? Which will give you some practical knowledge, right? Whenever you get into a real-time job role, these case studies will help you. Okay. Then in week 3, we'll start learning about SDLC. Like we'll start introducing teaching of SDLC, like waterfall methodology. And we'll also learn different artifacts what a business analyst, have to do in the waterfall methodology, right? Then coming to 4th week, we'll do agile scrum training. Okay, in week 4, I'll teach you how to, what is about scrum principles, scrum values, and how to write the user stories, how to calculate the velocity, how to calculate the team's capacity, right? Everything will learn in week 4. Okay, so one more thing, during this part of training, right? During this course of training, we will also have some uh, besides case studies, we will have real time, uh, right? Real time role play activities, right? So when I say role play activities, still let us say example, I'm teaching you requirements elicitation techniques. Okay, so I taught you, let us assume I teach you requirements elicitation techniques. The next day, I will act as a client, and the participants will act as a business analyst, and they will gather requirements from me on a particular scenario. Okay, so I will take a small mini project or small mini feature, wherein you have to gather requirements from me, right, using different illustration techniques. Okay, so this will give you some idea, or this will give you some knowledge on how the real-time requirements gathering will happen. Okay, so all those things will do, that is one of the example what I gave you, but we'll have multiple role play activities during our training program. Okay, next, right? So after week 4, after week 4 of our training program, after learning or after teaching you agile and stuff, we'll have a preparation week. Okay, so in this preparation week, you have to work on one case study, or I say project, end-to-end project. When I say end to end, I'll give you one project. You have to do the documentation, PRD, FRD, activity diagrams, use case diagrams, swim lane diagrams. You have to write the Jira, you have to write the user stories, everything you have to do end to end on that project, right? So once the project is completed, I will do the mock interviews. Okay. So I will conduct mock interviews for each of your participants. Okay. So after mock interviews, based on your feedback, right? Based on my feedback, if you need to improve anything, or if you are good to go for, job search, right? Based on the feedback, we can take a call, right? So during this mock interviews and during this case study time, I will help you in your resume preparation. Okay. So we'll try to transform your current resume to project as a business analyst resume. Okay, so I'll tell you if you need to give, based on your current experience, I'll tell you if you can transform your business resume into business analyst, or we have to look some alternate, right? So we can discuss that one-to-one if you decide to join the training program, right? So all those things I will take care. Then next, once preparation is done, so what would be the outcome, right? So you'll be spending almost 4 to 5 weeks with this training program, right? So what is the outcome of the training program, right? So you will learn the importance of a business analyst in a project, and how to plan the requirements, how to gather the requirements, how to document the requirements, how to validate the requirements, right? And you'll also get some hands-on exercises or hands-on experience on business analyst profile, right? You'll learn most of the things what a business analyst done in a real-time project, right? So this would be the outcome of the training program. Okay, then what are the prerequisites? Okay, so who can join this training program or who can transform their career into training program, transform their career as a BA, right? So any fresher, as I said, right, if you are experienced as a developers, team leaders, sales executives, right, customer representative, if you're working as a in testing team as a quality assurance team member, right, SMEs, right, anyone who wanted to transform their career into BA, they can transform into BA, but there are some lookouts we need to watch out for, right? So that we can discuss one to one. Okay. Then next, right? Right. So after the prerequisites, I just want to cover you two of the other topics. Huh? Just let me wait. Give me 1 second. I will share my screen again. One. Okay. So most of you must have questions on the certification as well, right? So what type of BA certifications we have, right? So certifications, right? Most of you have pinged me in my personal chat, right? Will I give you a certification, right? Yes, I give you the participation certificate, right? Saying you have participated in this training program, I will give you that, right? But that certification is of no use, okay? Because only IIBA certifications are accepted worldwide, right? So this is the International Institute of Business Analysis, right? So IIBA board will give you or will give us 3 certifications, right? Will give us yes, yes, Bhavani, I will share the recording, right? Uh, yeah. So this IIBA board will give us 3 types of certifications for a business analyst, right? ECBA, which is Entry Certificate of a Business Analysis, CCBA, Certification of Capability in Business Analysis, then Certified Business Analyst Analysis Professional, CBAP, which is very famous. Okay. So this is the top end certification. CBAP is the top level certification. Okay. So these are the 3 certifications which are provided by only IIBA. And if you want to write any business analyst certification, this is only valid certification every employer will accept. Okay, no other certifications will certify you as a certified business analyst. Only IIBA certifications will support you as a certified business analyst. Okay, so who all can write this certification, right? So ECBA, let us get into IIBA portal, right? So I am also a member of IIBA portal, IIBA. Okay. So entry level business analyst certification, anyone can write. Okay. So there is no certain eligibility or any certificate criteria that, only these are valid for a ECBA, right? Anyone can write a business analyst certification. Okay. Sorry, ECBA certification, right? But, okay. Okay. Here is my PPT. Uh, just give me 1 minute. Okay, right. So ECBA certification, anyone can write. There is no specific criteria, right? But CCBA, let us see about CCBA, right? Who can write a CCBA certification, right? Yep, I'll just tell you the certification cost as well. Okay. So to write an ECBA certification, you must work as a business analyst at least 3,750 hours. Okay, so it is not like you do not have this much of experience, you can make up some experience of a BA and you can write this certification. No, we have to provide the references as well. Okay, so when you register to this certification, IABA will ask you some questions where you have worked. We have to give some references. They will do cross check. There will be some back end work they will take care to to confirm that you have a real time experience of a business analyst working for 3750 hours. Okay, only a person who has worked as a business analyst on 3750 hours are eligible to write the CCBA exam. Okay, so this is the specific criteria to write a CCBA exam. Okay, then CBAP, right? So CBAP also have some specific criteria. Okay, CBAP, to write a CBAP examination, we need 7,500 hours. Okay, or at least, sorry, in last 10 years, you should have 7,500 hours of working as a business analyst, right? Similar to here, we have to provide the references here to authenticate your experience. Okay, so this is about the business analyst certifications, right? So how about the cost? Okay, so let us look at the cost as well, right? So this would be a dashboard, right? So business analyst certifications, are a bit costlier, okay, and right, and we should also renew them for every 2 years, right? Uh, these are not valid for lifetime. Okay, we should renew 1 or 2 years in every 2 years. Okay, so this is the cost of certification. ECBA certification, ECBA cost you around $350. Okay, CCBA will cost you around $405 and CBAP will cost you around $500, right? So this is the certification cost, and this would also have a non-refundable, right? Non-refundable and not transferable, right? So this is the examination fee what we are saying, but there isn't some certification cost, right? So let us assume you have applied for $350 for ECBA exam, right? So once you apply, you decided not to go for it. Okay, even though you cancel that your application, IABA will charge you some amount, right? Maybe $60 or $50 for CBA, ECBA, right? For CBA and CBAP also. Let us see if it has some information around that. Okay, it is not there. See, for every CBAP, we have to recertification or renewal for every 3 years. Okay, with $120. Okay, same with CBAP. Every 3 years we have to renew with $120. Right. So this is some costlier certifications. Right. If you want, you can write the certifications, but this is how it would be. Okay, for if you want to transform your career at an entry level, you can go for ECBA, which is suggestible for everyone. Okay, anyone who want to transform as a BA, ECBA certification is very suggestible. Okay, you can go for that if you are very much interested to write it. Okay, then next. Yeah, so right, so nowadays we are hearing a lot about AI, right? People say that AI will replace the job, or AI will impact our you know jobs, daily job routine and everything, right? So let us see if AIBA does for a business analyst also, right? So according to IIBA, okay, so AI will not, right? See what a business analyst does basically. The business analyst will talk to the stakeholders, business analyst will analyze the information, business analyst will gather the requirements from stakeholder, right? So all these activities AI cannot do. Okay, so AI cannot act as a gap between the business and IT team. Okay, AI will not understand the business language because business activities would be different from organization to organization, right? It is not a common practice or it is not a common steps taken care by each and every organization, right? It is different from organization to organization where AI cannot handle it. Okay, AI cannot go and talk to stakeholders. AI cannot identify which stakeholder is appropriate to which module or which stakeholder is appropriate to get this feedback or any of the requirement, right? So all these things cannot do an AI, right? But if you know how to use AI, right, you can make your job easy. Okay, regarding to the documentations or writing the user stories, right? You can use AI to complete your task, but AI will not replace your job. Okay, at least I can watch for business analyst. Okay, so this is what IIBS is as per as per their study on AI. Okay, next. Right, so now we have seen training program who are eligible and everything, right? Now we'll see, we'll get into the Q&A session, right? I'll give you the details on when the new batch is and what are the timings and everything within a while. But let us get into some Q&A session. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, you can quickly put it on the chat window. I will be happy to answer you. Right. I see some questions. Yeah. So okay, I will unmute everyone. Then you can. Yeah. So I have unmuted. Right. So you can unmute and ask your questions.
Yeah, Shrikant.
Yeah.
It's just a quick question. After doing this course from you, can we clear entry-level IIB certification exam?
Yes. Yes. So my course is designed according to the BBAC book, right? B book. Okay. So it would be for the entry level certification. You can clear ECBA certification.
And can we have some like sample questions or can we have some help on YouTube as well?
I will. Yes, I do that too. Right. I have a portal. I'll give you the details and everything once, batches finalized and registrations are done. So in that portal, you will get all the recordings, sample documentation, resumes, right? And, some basic interview questions and certification questions, everything you'll get in that.
Okay. And one more question is you said that you're going to help with the resume creating
Right.
our earlier experience as a business analyst, whether it was whatever it was. So how will you manipulate the LinkedIn? Every employer, most 99.9% employers see LinkedIn. It's kind of a barometer. So how will you manipulate that?
Yeah. So what we do generally, so we update the LinkedIn also to match our profile, right? I know, people already you have already few connections in your LinkedIn, but if you want to transform as a BA into new profession or any of the new profile, we have to do some mockups, right? I will let you know how to do that and everything in the LinkedIn also. We are not going to delete anything, but we'll showcase our experience that we have worked as a BA. Okay. So existing LinkedIn connections, you have to manage that. But when you are going to apply any new jobs using LinkedIn, right, that person would be new for your LinkedIn profile, right? So he understands or he believes whatever he sees on your profile, right? So we are also going to update the LinkedIn profile also.
I mean, looks tough to me, but definitely it's not,
it is not easy
impossible.
to, yeah,
but
it
it's
is not
not easy.
impossible.
A lot of good clients, they watch like there should be minimum 150 connections, something like
It is
that.
not required. See, all those things are not required. See, I think you are from a IT recruiting background, right? As you mentioned in one of the chats. Yeah. So your thinking perspective is on the recruiting side, but it is not like your career is depending on the LinkedIn connections, right? The person who does not have LinkedIn profile also is working as a BA, right?
I
So,
understand.
yeah, LinkedIn connections does not make any sense. Uh, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shrikant.
Yes.
Shrikant.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what is the certification that we can take without any job hours? Is it
It is ECBA.
ECBA? Okay.
Yeah. Entry certification of a business analyst.
And that we can do after your certificate. I mean,
Yes.
your program is done.
Yes, you should be able to clear that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And
Hey,
what are
Srikanth.
what are the hours of your coaching or training?
Yeah, I will just give you that information once I'm done with these questionnaires. I will
Okay.
give you that information.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, my question is like you told that we need to manipulate and do stuff to match our profile, right? Do you help in the background verification?
I do not do myself, Vishal, but if you want, I can refer you someone, but you have to take care of that. Okay, I can refer
Oh,
you.
oh, okay. So basically, they will be helping throughout, right? N number of
Yes,
companies
yes,
we apply, so N number of
yes,
background
yes.
verifications they will be helping
Yeah,
us, right?
yeah, yeah. They will take care of experience and background thing as
Okay. Do they provide
well.
all the
But
backup documents?
if you do not, if you want to lose, I'm not sure your working status, but if you're working and if you want to lose your current experience, then you have to go into that route. Okay. If you want to use your current experience and transform into BA, we have to manipulate only your resume. We are not going to manipulate anything else.
The problem is like have experience as a BA, but not in the IT industry, but
Okay.
in a supply chain industry.
Yeah,
Even though
it's
my
fine.
experience is like 1 or 2 years, but nowadays people are asking for at least 5 to 6 years of experience.
Got that. Hmm.
That's the reason where it
Got
becomes a
that.
big issue to match it
Okay.
up.
Yep. We can talk it offline, Vishal. Uh,
Okay.
you can chat or you can call me at my number.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Hi,
And
Srikanth. A,
what
a guy with
phone
the
number?
5 years experience. Sorry.
What is it?
Yeah. Srikanth, a guy with a 5 years experience, how much package he can expect in the market?
See, package does not depends upon profile. Okay, package depends on the company, right? So few companies offer you good package, right? Good package in the sense, you might get 30 to 40% hike on your current package. Okay, so some
I mean, like
companies
average
offer,
around like 10 to 15 kind of thing.
sorry,
I mean, in the average market, I mean to say, like
yeah,
10
in
lakhs,
the
15
average, I'm
lakhs, or
telling you, right?
20 lakhs.
So if you
Yeah.
are presenting your experience as a 6 or 7 years, maybe 8 years, assume, right? So you'll get a package in between 10 to 15 lakhs. Okay. So if because while transforming our career, okay, it is always to showcase as an entry level. Okay, because interview also depends on how much experience you are putting in your resume. Okay, so in your resume, if you put 6 years, 7 years of experience, interview will also become some challenge. Okay, so we suggest to our participants to project the experience in a resume in between 3 to 5 years. Okay, as a BA. Okay, so that will give you good opportunities and you can also expect some good hike also, right? Did I answer your question?
Uh, Shrikant, as I already discussed with you, in business analysts, most of the time they ask for domain knowledge, which is really, really
Yes,
important part.
correct.
So,
So
how
yeah.
at entry level we can, enter into that, and
Hmm.
what do you suggest?
Right,
I mean,
I was just about to answer that question too. I got, while registering, I got that one of the questions, right? So domain knowledge is important. I'm not denying that. Okay. But when you showcase your experience as a 2 to 3 years, right? So if you want to become an expert in any particular domain, right? It cannot happen in 1 year or 2 years, right? It will take long run, right? At least you need to work 6 to 8 years into particular domain. Then only you'll get expertised in that particular domain, right? See, example, myself, right? I'm into insurance domain. So in order to get an insurance domain knowledge, it took me 8 years, right? So it might be differ from project to project, but entire domain knowledge you cannot get in 1 or 2 years or 3 years, right? you should be working in improving your knowledge. Okay. So, and coming to domain knowledge or product knowledge, every company does give you initial training of that. Okay. So let us say if you get hired in Capgemini or Deloitte or Wipro, Infosys, any company, they give you some domain knowledge. Okay, because even though if I say insurance domain, I have knowledge on insurance domain. Now also if I change my company, the new company will train me on the insurance domain, because handling of domain would be different from organization to organization. Okay, so domain knowledge you'll get when you start working in any of the particular domain organization, or we have to develop ourselves on that particular domain. Got that?
Yeah, thank you.
Hi Shrikant, I am Akshaya here. I have one clarification.
Yeah.
Because like since 2 3 days, I had been searching here and there, doing some small research on BA. All right. So whenever I see this entry level BA, all the recruiters or whoever is posting there, I do see that first the qualification comes as at least IT, engineering, computer science, technology, and relevant courses. So how does it be helpful for BCom? See, I am a
Right.
BCom student. After that,
Right.
where I have a domain knowledge of healthcare. But
Hmm.
whereas, as the other person told, I missed out the person name. It was a very honest point. One side is the qualification where they require is like IT level technology, computer science, and the
Hmm.
other one is the domain knowledge
Hmm.
is like when I checked with one of the recruiter calling that particular person, they are like
Hmm.
whatever they are hiring for that particular domain knowledge we should hold at least for a year. So how does this
Hmm.
help for us as a BA? Because
Right.
as in healthcare, every time we cannot get in a job in healthcare, right, as a BA.
Correct. Correct.
So once if
Yes.
I start with BA, I will be putting across with a different domain also, which I have like
Hmm.
little knowledge about it. But
Right.
still, the recruiters are even for the entry level, the recruiters are insisting for 1 year domain knowledge as well as
Hmm.
the IT computer science. Like how it is helpful
Hmm.
for a BCom student, yeah, if I take a BA, and it
Right.
will be very challenging, right?
Correct. So let me, your question has two parts, right? One is, technology and everything. Next is domain. So I think
Yes.
domain I have answered for Kavita. The technology thing is right. So yes, they look for not for a technical background, but they look for technical knowledge. Okay. So technical background is different and technical knowledge is different, right? So if you have attended my first 15 minutes of session, I was explaining why technical knowledge is important for a BA. Okay. So recruiter, see, basically according to Scrum Guide or IIBA, or else you can go into IIBA website and you can check, right? So those experts does not, look for a technical BA, right? Those experts says, technical knowledge is not required for a business analyst. But the companies, right, to do the cost cutting, or maybe, to, BA to work as, multitasking, right? So they look for technical background or technical knowledge. It is not like technical background. It is like a technical knowledge. Okay. So if you are aware of writing SQL queries, and if you are aware of writing select query or extracting the data, that should be fine. See, whenever you talk to a recruiter, you should not say that I do not have technical knowledge. Even though I am not from a technical background, but my work experience gave me some technical knowledge, right? See, talking to recruiters is always depends upon our conversation. Okay, because what recruiter says, whatever the project manager gives him the requirement, the same thing would be posted into the Naukri or wherever it is in the job portals by the recruitment team, right? So recruitment team does not know anything about in and out of a business analyst profile, or you know on that part, technical knowledge perspective, right? So whenever you talk to a recruiter, you mention them, right? Even though not for a technical background, I have technical skills, right? And we should also be stressing in our resume, right? In the skill set, we should stress our technical knowledge, right?
All right.
It is not like someone from technical background is good at writing queries, right? It is not like that. Someone from technical background is also weak in writing queries, right? So it does not mean that, if you're from a technical background, you are shortlisted for an interview, right? So while talking to recruiter only, we have to tell them, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Srikanth, a quick question.
Mm.
Would you be helping with job placements too, or is it just the training and helping with the mock interviews and resume updates?
Yeah, only job, resume updates and the interview preparation and something.
Okay, all right.
So, after the training program, if any interview is getting scheduled, you can get in touch with me based on the job description. I will help you in, how to answer the questions and what kind of potential questions they can ask you, right?
Okay, so we have to reach out to the recruiters, or job search is
Yes.
something that we have to do on our own.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So if you are from Canada or USA, I can refer you some consultancies. You can get in touch with them. All right, they might help you.
Okay, sounds good.
But from my side, I do not commit anything on the placements. I only do resume preparation and interview preparation.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Right. So coming to the
Hey, Srikanth.
batch. Yeah.
I just have a question related to BA. So, what's the basic difference between a project manager and a business analyst or a
Right.
product owner?
Project. Okay. See, product on. Let me explain you first what is the difference between PM and this guy PA. Okay. So project manager is the one who looks after the entire project, like budgeting, right? Resourcing. Okay. So that is what a project manager will take care, right? What a business analyst do? Business analyst will talk to the client.
Okay.
Okay. Business analyst will talk to the client, gather the requirements, explain the requirements to developers, explain the requirements to testing team, right? Track the project. Track the project in the sense, track the requirements, whether they are getting developed in the right way or not, right? Sometimes what happens, developers might not understand the requirements. We have to pitch in and we have to explain them the requirements. That is the responsibilities of a PA.
How about a product owner?
Yeah, I'm coming there, right? So product owner will work on the product perspective. Okay. So let us say if I have an insurance product. Okay. So what I do, I will develop the product so that it is useful for any of the clients at a holistical way. Okay. So I mainly work on the product development, the entire product development. Okay. Whereas business analyst will concentrate on that particular client only. Okay. So let us say if I have a product of insurance domain, right? So
Okay.
I will be working on the product so that that product is helpful for any of the companies who wanted to use that.
Okay.
Okay. So let us take an example of this Google. Okay. Google as itself is a product.
Okay.
Right. The product owner of Google, what they do, they work on the development of that particular product. Right. Some may say, I want to use Google Workspace. Okay.
Mm.
So some may say, I want to use Google Meet. Right. A BA will work on their customization.
Okay.
Understanding it, right?
Yes.
Right. So that is the basic difference. Right. When you get into the roles, there would be a lot of differences, but to understand the difference, I hope this should be enough.
Okay, got it.
Right. So
Yes.
for anything, business analyst is a foundation. Okay. So if you can work as a BA for 2 or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years down the line, you have many options to again upgrade your career. Right. You can go as a product owner, you can go as a product manager, you can go as a scrum master.
Okay.
Right. But foundation is a business analyst.
Okay.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
And also, during the training, do you help us to go on hand with the Jira and Confluence?
Yes. Yeah. Not Confluence, Jira.
Okay.
Okay. See, tools are used, depends on the organization. Okay, some
Okay.
organizations may use Jira, some organizations may use Confluence, right? But most of the organization use Jira. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll teach you Jira.
So the other
Okay,
thing is that how do we write BRD in an organization where the people BA write the BRD FRDs and all?
correct, right. I'll teach you that too.
Okay. Is there any specific softwares that they use, or like I know that Confluence
No, no,
is
no. There is no specific software. See, for BRD and FRD, you have to write it on a Word document only. Okay, but
okay.
to write the user stories, we have to use Jira.
Okay.
Okay, Jira is a tool which we use for writing the user stories.
Okay, got it.
Okay, but for BRD and FRT, normal MS Word is enough.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, right.
And
Well,
Coming to
Srikanth,
the
uh
uh,
like as you know, like visualization tools have also been like developing, and BAs should possess that, right? So do we need to have a knowledge of Tableau or Power BI or something that data analysts usually
not required.
work on?
So those are called data analyst.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we are learning is business analyst. Both are different. Okay, so if you want to upgrade yourself, you can learn them, but it is not required.
Okay. Because like in recent times, I'm just seeing the job descriptions and all. Like some companies do ask for a business analyst too,
So maybe those are all banking domain or
like
data
insurance.
related kind of companies.
Yeah, like
But
insurance.
when it comes, yeah, when it comes insurance company, not required. So basically, if you are looking for any software development organization, Tableau and Power BI are not required. Okay, maybe they must have put it in the job description, but they are not mandatory for MBA.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm going to start new batch from 21st of October, 21st of August, which is coming Monday. Okay, so my classes would be 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. IST, Monday to Friday. If it is EST, America or USA or Canada, 9:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sunday to Thursday, right? Because of the time difference, it would be Sunday to Thursday, Canada and USA. Right? In India, it is 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. IST. Okay, so 7,000 is the fee, which includes business analyst program and plus SQL. Okay, so you can ping me on WhatsApp. I'll explain you how it would be for UK, right? Because in UK, my 7 a.m. is your 2:30 a.m. right? It would be around somewhere midnight. Okay, so I have another option for that. You can ping me on WhatsApp. I can explain, right? So 7,000 is the fee, INR, and $85 in US dollars. Okay, so this is about the overall training program, new batch date, and new timings. Okay. So if you want to discuss anything one to one, you can call me at this number. I just pasted in the chat window also. You can get in touch with me. We can, right? We can discuss and we can proceed. Okay. So before I close, I just want to mention one more point, right? So this training would be a limited with a limited attendees because you know for resume preparation and mock interviews, if I have to concentrate on each and everyone, my batches would be very limited, like maximum of 10 to 12, not more than that. Okay. So whoever first registers will be, I will block a seat for them. Okay. So that is what the thing is. Okay. Then, yeah, that's all from my side. If you have any questions, we can, you can ask. I know we are done with our Q&A session, but yeah. Yes, Ben.
Excuse me. Sorry, it will be 1 hour per day for weeks,
Yes, 4 weeks.
and during the weekend also it will be for 1 hour each day for 7 days per week,
Yes, 5 days per week.
5 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so no working hours during the weekend.
No, not on the weekend.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sir, is this 5 weeks included with the real-time case
Yes,
study?
including the correct. Yes,
Okay.
including the project.
Okay, so in between something like when we are going through, if we have some clarifications, how do we get in touch with you?
You can get it connected with me. You can connect with me over WhatsApp, or if you require an explanation, we can connect over Zoom.
All right.
Okay. So if you do not have any questions, then I'll close the session for today. Okay.
Hi, Srikanth, I have a question.
So if you have anything to discuss with me, uh, I don't know who is but your voice late.
Yeah, I had a question like how many hours of mock interviews we can get?
Mock interviews is based on your performance. Okay. So if you're not doing well in 1 or 2 interviews, I will schedule third one, right, fourth one until you do satisfactory.
Okay, so like is there a set duration?
Sorry.
Like all the sessions are gonna like do with us. Like, is there any set duration for those hours?
Your voice is not audible because, I mean, at least for me, I'm unable to understand. You can put your question in the chat window, or else you can message me on WhatsApp. I will answer you. Is there any set of, yes, I will set a particular set of time. But there is no set of hours. I will do interview, I'll ask you some set of questions. Okay. It may take half an hour, or it may take 1 hour, it may take 45 minutes based on our interaction. Okay. Okay. So then I'll close the session for today. If you have any questions, you can anyways always ping me on WhatsApp. I'll just, so I have your email IDs and contact number. I will respond you on your email. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. Yeah, thanks everyone.